Mike Masato returning now for episode 23 of the Dental Road Warrior. I'm the CEO of Staff Driven Dental, joining you again for another topic on the road on dental practice management and enlightenment for your life. So anyway, I wanted to, sorry it's a few days later than normal. I usually get these things out a little quicker, so I'll try to make up for it by making this one extra special. You know, I was lecturing last night at a dinner lecture, and it struck me, it's amazing to me how complicated practice management and business management and running a business, which your practice is, it is a business, and I know many of us have found that out the hard way through the School of Hard Knocks, because they don't teach this stuff in dental school. They didn't teach it 20, 30 years ago, and they don't teach it today when you need it more than ever. So, you know, people that do what I do, it's a labor of love, because, you know, in our world, it's something that's second nature to us. We do it all the time. I live in that world. I coach, you know, dozens and dozens of dentists a year, hundreds and hundreds all the years I've been doing this. We're in the field all the time. We spend thousands upon thousands of hours of training on the job and otherwise, you know, to master our art of doing this. So it becomes second nature to us, and it's amazing, you know, to me. Again, we forget often that you know, you guys don't do the same, and your staff doesn't do the same. If you think about how many hours have you really spent, have you dedicated to become the master clinicians you are, it's thousands upon thousands of hours of training to get to the level where you can just pretty much do the dentistry almost with your eyes closed. At this point, it's second nature to you. Well, and but for me, it's very complicated. If you ask me to step into your room tomorrow and say, hey Mike, do this one surface composite I got tomorrow, someone's going to get badly hurt. It's going to be a disaster, and it's not going to work very well, and you'll probably have a lawsuit in your hands. Why? It's because I don't know what I'm doing. I never had any training in that, so it would be a debacle. Well, it kind of correlates to dental practice management. It's often a debacle, a disaster situation a lot of times, not because you guys are dumb or uneducated. You're very smart guys, very smart people out there, professionals, very scientific people, a lot of book training. But the problem is you never had any training in this, which is amazing to me that this is not part of your curriculum for at least 4 years. When you get out of school, you have a better chance of making it out there and being successful at what you do, and the art at what you do, and helping heal and treat patients. So you know, I've realized that I've had to simplify this in doing this over the years. So I like to keep it at a 6th grade level. It's probably a good idea to do this with your patients when you're talking dentistry. And the mistake we often make with our patients is we try to be very smart with them and show them how educated we are and how much knowledge we have and how brilliant we are in what we do, and we ended up talking way over their heads, and they don't get it. They're kind of nodding there, glassy-eyed, and kind of going along with it, even though they don't understand a word you're saying. So I've realized a long time ago, doing this, you have to really make this be simple. So what I want to talk about briefly right now are the 4, you know, basic pillars of practice management. If you really boiled it down to 4 things, if you had to master the art and science of 4 things to really begin to understand practice management and be more effective at running your practice and being more successful in practice, I would boil it down to these 4 things. You have to master the art and science of these 4 things. You have to master the art and science of what to say and how to say it, and what to do and how to do it. That's it. All right? Very complicated. Let me say that again. It's what you say and how you say it, and what you do and how you do it. Okay? So you don't need an MBA to do this. It's really that simple when you compartmentalize it and look at it this way. Let's take any scenario. Patient calls up, the front desk picks up the phone, and she's got a patient on the phone that wants to cancel an appointment last minute. It's what she says and how she says it to the patient, and what she does and how she does it with the patient, whether or not the patient, we salvage that patient appointment, or she says, when do you want to come in next? Okay? You're trying to, hygienist is trying to co-diagnose work and hygiene. It's what she says and how she says it to the patient. It's what she does and how she does it with them, which makes them go, yeah, I can see what you're saying, and you go in and confirm it, and it's sold. It's done. Basing on selling. Case presentation and treatment acceptance, what you say and how you say it, and what you do and how you do it. You know, sometimes it's miraculous. You figure out how does your treatment coordinator or your manager, you know, close all this money when you can't. You know, it's who she is. It's how she's doing it. It's what she says and how she says it, and what she does and how she does it. Okay, and she didn't have the dental training you do. It's just she's great at it that way because she's gonna master the art and science of this to some degree or another to be effective. So you pick any scenario in practice. Start with that. If you want to look at, you know, getting better at training and your people, start with this. Do they understand what to say and how to say it in these scenarios, and what to do and how to do it? A big one is really, when I teach about mastering handling of objections, we get pushback and objections and resistance from patients all the time. This is just training. You have to get good at handling, first of all, people that are, going to object and fight and push you back on what you say. That's human nature to do that. Okay. You're also going to have to handle and learn the art and science of handling crazy people. All right. If you haven't figured it out, let me tell you about patients. If you haven't noticed it yet, they're all nuts. Okay. And I'm saying this with all affection. I don't mean they need to be locked up. A few do. But for the most part, people are nuts. They're crazy. They have their quirks. They just are. And then we're putting them in a situation where there's high fear and high stress. And we're talking about health and money and dentistry. Right? You see the most stable person crack up in these situations. Okay, and you got to deal with that. I've been dealing with dentists for 21 years and staff. 21 intensive years of training dentists. I do it maybe at any given time. I'm in contact with 30 to 40 dentists over the course of the year, speaking to them, training them, supporting my coaches. How do you think my sanity level is? Well, I'm pretty stable in saying I haven't cracked up yet. When I say yet, why? Because a long time ago, I learned that I have to master the art and science of how to handle crazy people. All right, because we know we all joke around with each other in the field that we're all little nuts, and we become crazier as the years go on and dealing with all this kind of stuff. All right, so I'm trying to help you become less crazy in practice, and have people you deal with become less crazy, have your staff become less crazy. All right, and it's real simple. Teach them, train them on these things, the 4 pillars of practice management: what to say and how to say it, what to do and how to do it. That encompasses a lot of things. I can give you that. That's the other thing too. It's all been done for you already. You don't have to invent this stuff, because that's the hard part. Conceptually, we all think we know what to do, what our practice needs. We all know what our practice needs. It's just like, how do I get there? I'm here in this spot right now, but I want to go to a whole nother place in my practice, another level. How am I getting it there? That's the gap. And what's in the middle of that gap is learning all those processes and systems and policies, all right, and all the training that goes on of your personnel to get to that point, all right? And that's how you have to learn those things I was talking about. So that's a good baseline way to really start thinking about, how to approach training in your practice, all right? Look, life is too short, to be in practice and not be fulfilled and not be happy where you are, all right? And it's such a simple thing. It's right within our grasp. We don't reach for it. It's out there. It's okay. We don't want to often get help, because people are fearful about what's how we'll look like. We're inferior, we're not good, or whatever. Look, everybody needs help at some point or another. I have great coaches that work with me. I can't do it all myself. I got help. I have had mentoring and coaching over my life. I didn't come out of the box this way. I know, hard to believe. All right, but it was a long process. And look, the same thing with you guys. You got to be able to find the right help to come into your life to teach you this kind of stuff. Right? There is the wrong way to say things, what to say and how to say it. The wrong way to do that. There is the wrong way of what to do and how to do it. And I've heard a lot of crazy things in my time with that, and bad advice. There's tons of bad advice out there. That's why I don't recommend surfing the net to get dental practice management advice. Or going on some of these big central message boards when you're getting 500 different opinions on your answers to your questions. Right? You need to work with somebody that understands you, understands your philosophy, your mentality, your practice, the culture of your practice, the personnel in your practice. That's when the coaching becomes effective. It's not necessarily all the information. And I got a lot of information, years worth of it, a gigantic binder full. All right, but that information in of itself doesn't do anything. All right, unless it's really applied in a way that's going to be the best fit for you and your practice. All right. So again, a little more words of wisdom. Hope you enjoyed this today. So again, sorry for the gap in time of getting this one up there. Hope you enjoy it. I wore a little red today in honor of Valentine's Day is when I'm recording this. So happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And I'll be back soon for episode 24. I'm glad you guys are enjoying these. As I said before, I end always by telling people to share these things, spread the word, put it out there. And I'll be back with you again soon. Thanks for watching.